there guys, it's Ryan Raids and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, this is episode number 3 of our artifact and gearing guide of 2024. So for all you newbies or even early game players, we're going to be deep diving each of the artifact sets within the Forge. And you either get these from Doom Tower, Forge Pass or Faction Wars. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So guys, the channel is closing in on 200 subscribers after being 3 months old. And if we achieve this by the 10th of December, I will attempt another giveaway on the channel. And because in the last giveaway for 100 subscribers, the previous winner didn't ever claim their prize, I'll do 2 winners this time round. So yeah, if we get there and you enter the draw and you win, just make sure you claim. Make sure you claim it. Right, let's get on with what we're meant to be doing. So we'll head into the Forge and we will start with these 4 sets at the top, which you get from Faction Wars. So make sure you're farming your Faction Wars every day to obtain the materials to forge these 4 sets. So we'll go through each one of these now. So these are the materials you'll get from Faction Wars. This one here on the right. This is what you get from Arena Battles, Magic Steel. Then the hammers you usually get from rewards from doing bits and pieces from in the game. So yeah, what we'll do, we'll start at the top and we'll go through each set all the way down to the bottom. We'll go through in detail what each set does and whether it's worth farming or not. So yeah, let's get on with it. So the top 2 sets, the Swift Parry set and Deflection, I don't think they're used a great deal anymore, but you couldn't really grumble for an early game player if you had one of these equipped. So the Swift Parry set, you've got 18% speed, it's a 4-piece set, an extra 30% crit damage, and then 50% chance of an killable buff when hit with a fatal hit. So it'd be good for Arena. So if you had that on with some good stats on it, as an early game player, I can't see many people grumbling at you. So the type of stats you want to be looking for on here is speed, definitely, extra crit damage, crit rate, maybe a bit of accuracy, and then like if you've got an attack-based nuker, you want attack percent, defense-based nuker, defense percent, and a HP-based nuker, HP percent. Those sort of stats group together. If you get 4 pieces of those types of stats all grouped together, then I don't think it'd be the most horrendous set to have on one of your champions in Arena. That's my personal opinion. So then the Deflection set, what's that? HP 20%, defense 20%, and then 25% chance to deflect 1 debuff onto the attacker. So what's that like? That's basically 2 of these resilience sets, isn't it? But then you get a 25% chance to deflect 1 debuff onto the attacker. So again, I don't think that's an awfully bad set. If you had it on early game, an extra 20% HP, extra 20% defense, it wouldn't be an horrendous set to have. I don't think anyway. Not if you were an early game and you got some decent stats. So the stats you would want tanky stats on this set. So you'd want more HP percent underneath, more defense percent, you want some speed, some accuracy, maybe some resistance, all of those grouped together on these 4 pieces, and I think you'd have a pretty good set there. So the next 2 from Faction Wars is the Resilience set and Perception. So Perception is still probably one of the better sets in the game. Absolutely really strong for early game players. You get 40 accuracy and 5% speed. So if you've got 3 sets of that on, you're getting 15% speed and 120 accuracy. So what are the main stats you want on a Perception set? Accuracy and speed. And then if you're putting it on a damage dealer, you want like damage based stats. If you put it on a debuffer, you want some survivability and speed. So yeah, that's that one. The Resilience set is considered the weakest out of all of these sets. I use it. I got it on my Regear draft. 3 sets of that, so you get an extra 30% HP, 30% defense. It's not horrendous for early game. Like, I'm using it. It will fall off pretty quickly though. But if you do get some nice pieces from the Forge early on, then there's no harm in putting them on your champions. So underneath you want tanky stats, you want more HP, more defense, you want some speed, accuracy and resistance as well, all grouped together. And then that's what I mean, it's a nice little filler set, 2-piece set, which gives you extra defense and HP. So that's what I use on my Regear draft, but that might be changing because I got bolster now. So that's those top 4 done and dusted. Okay, so the next group of artifact sets are from the Doom Tower. So we've got from Affinity Breaker all the way down to Lethal. So we'll go through these one by one and have a look exactly what they do. To be fair, I haven't used a fair few of these myself, so let's have a look what they do. So we've got Affinity Breaker. I think this is quite a niche set. It's 4 pieces, so it gives you an extra 30% crit damage, and it's got a 50% chance to change a weak hit to a critical hit. So I think the only places I've heard this being used effectively is it's either the boss Amius, I might be wrong on one of these, or it's the Phantom's Shogun. So I think it's to do with his mechanics where he puts in feeble on you and you always weak hit or something like that. So I think this set there is used for that boss there. So as an early game player, you won't really have much use for this one here until later on. So as an early game player like this account now, I wouldn't even bother forging that one. The Untouchable, I've never heard of anyone using that set. So immunity for 2 turns, same as the immunity set, what you can farm from one of the dungeons. Nobody really uses it anymore. So basically, you're immune from debuffs being put on you for 2 turns, and it gives you 40 resistance. So again, as an early game player, I wouldn't even farm that. When you get it, I would just straight sell the 3 and 4 star materials just for silver, and then keep any of the higher ones for, you might end up needing it later on in the game. But for early game players, yeah, I wouldn't bother. This Fatal one though, I do use this one. Gives you 15% attack and 5% crit rate. So if you've got any attack damage dealers, so like this 2-piece set here could be quite useful for, who have I got? Calvalax is an attack-based damage dealer. Wukong's attack-based damage dealer. Kale is an attack-based damage dealer, so you get the 15% attack and 5% crit rate, which isn't a bad little filler set. So if you can get underneath more attack percent, crit rate, crit damage, and speed, then a nice little 2-piece set there. So yeah, I would use this one as an early game player. This Frostbite one, so you got a 15% chance to block freeze debuffs and a 10% chance to place free debuff on an attacker. The problem I've got with these Frost sets is you've got to be hit for the 10% chance to put a freeze on the attacker. So with the power creep these days, usually, like say in Arena, if you get hit, most of your champions will probably go down. So I just don't see the point in having that 2-piece set on for a 10% chance. I think that Ash did a video a little while back with the Frost set, 2 sets of the Frost set, and this Frostbite 1-piece one set on it. He did some funky stuff with it, but I still think, like, especially arena based, if you're getting hit, I think you're down. Especially like our level champions. If I had this on in live arena, like when I'm up against stronger opponents, I'm just getting smacked. The 10% freeze debuff ain't going to do anything. So I'll probably just skip that for now. This Bloodburst set, that is literally an upgrade to Lifesteal, isn't it? So Lifesteal just heals by 30% of damage dealt. So this one gives you an extra 12% crit rate on top of that. So I don't know, if you've got some... The thing is, it's from the Eternal Dragon look, so that's a pretty hard boss to get it start farming anyway as an early game player. But if you did get your hands on some decent pieces of that, you could upgrade your lifesteal into that set there and get yourself some extra crit rate. Wouldn't be like the most horrendous thing you could do in the game. But I haven't really, on this account, I've got all the way through as I am without any lifesteal. 3 key in Nightmare, progressing in Doom Tower, you know, farming dungeons. I haven't really used lifesteal because I've got Rector Draft who does really, really good heals. Jeroboam, heals and shields and cleanse. I've also got that Runekeeper Dazdirk who does decent heals. So, I don't know. Would I be hiring Clan Boss with lifesteal? Possibly. The thing is, I just don't want to go wasting tons and tons of energy farming lifesteal in Dragon when it goes obsolete pretty fast. So, Guardian Gear. A 4-piece set. So your wearer absorbs 10% of damage dealt to all allied champions, then he heals themselves by 10% each turn. So on this type of set, you want tanky stats. You want HP, defense, you want speed, so you want them going quickly through their turns to get the 10% heal each turn. So this is a set I'm going to have to start looking to get my hands on some of them. Because if you've got a couple of your champions wearing this, when you take the trip up to Ultra Nightmare, especially if you've got, that's what I need as an allied protection champion for the Clan Boss. These sets, this Guardian set, is a good set for Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss if you haven't got an unkillable team. So I'm going to be looking up to hold my hands on some of this for when I take the trip up. But I also need what's it called? Allied Protection Champion. That would help massively. So the Fortitude set, that's a 2-piece set, isn't it? They give you 40 resistant and 10% defense. Would you use that? Probably not. I've never used it on my main account, and as an early game player, where do you want tons of resistance? You're not really building high resistance builds early game. So for us guys at the start, I probably would just leave that. If you want to keep some of the 3-4 star straight off the silver, you want to keep some of the 4 or 5 star, and if you do get any of the 5 or 6 star, like, just keep it in case one day you might need a little filler piece with some resistance and defense. You know, that's what I would probably do with that one. And then we've got the last Doom Tower set, which is the straight upgrade from Savage, which is lethal. It's a 4-piece set. You get it from Dark Fae. This is the main one you want to be farming when you're at that point, but that's not until later on in the game. But gives you crit rate, and then it ignores 25% of the enemy's defense. Best damage set, I would say, bar any of the 9 pieces. So what do you want on this one? More crit rate, crit damage, either attack percent, defense percent, or HP percent, depends what nuker you got. This is all about damage, speed, all about damage. So it goes on your damage dealers. You're not putting this on your debuffers. Damage dealers only, and they will smack with this set on. And if you've got like that one with like a cruel set, or a lot of them now endgame are putting like a 4-piece lethal, and then like, what's it, a 4-piece slayer or merciless with it as well, which is ridiculously strong, you know. So that is one you want to be able to farm, but that won't come later on in the game. But if you do manage, I don't know, there are some decent players out there who can get hold of some 4 or 5 star, the 5-star ones, or the 5 or 6-star ones, then forge it away and get these on your damage dealers. So yeah, that is the Doom Tower sets. Right, the final group of sets which come from the Forge Pass. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of these sets in their right are decent sets for an early game player. However, they don't come around too often. That's the only problem. They're only in the Forge Pass. I'm still gutted because I missed the 5 and 6-star materials for Bolster. I missed it on the last day, and I'm still gutted now. So we've got Instinct going on in a minute, and I'm gonna get that because I would like that on. Who would I like that on? I want it on Wukong if I can. If I get 2-piece, like 2 sets, decent sets from Forging all the materials, I want it on Wukong, and I want it on Calvalax. So I would go for all of these when they drop. As an early game player, stack these up, keep forging them, build up decent pieces, keep them stacked away, and then get them on your champions. So the Instinct set, damage and speed set. So it's the one was live in game now. So the stats you want here, obviously speed, and then you want your damage. So you want crit rate, crit damage, speed, a huge one, maybe a bit of accuracy, and then you want the either attack percent, defense percent, HP percent. Depends what nuker you've got. So obviously I've got 2 attack-based nukers at the moment. I've got Wukong and Calvalax. I want attack percent underneath. Or on the chest, attack percent is the main stat. Okay? That's for that one. The bolster set. I did manage to forward some of the 4 and 5-piece sets. I got some 5-star bolster. It's not quite the 6-star. So what you want to look from there, it gives you protected 30% HP ally shield for 3 turns. And heals by 10% of each turn. Okay, so this goes off your max HP. So you want as much HP on your champion as you get. So this is going to go on Rector Draft if they roll decent stats. So you want HP, you want defense, you want speed, you want some accuracy, maybe some resistance. You want tanky stats for it to go on a tanky champion with high HP. You want them fast to get round to this hill as quick as they can. So that's the bolster set. This Defiant set, which I also got a little bit of. They come together last time. They didn't. This is the first time I've seen them do that. The Defiant set is good for Clan Boss, so you get 10% defense and you take a 15% reduction in damage from AoE attacks. Great for Clan Boss. So when I roll mine up, if I get the decent stats underneath that you want, again, tanky stats, HP percent, defense percent, speed, accuracy, resistance, You want those type of stats underneath, good rolls in them, and then I'm going to try and fit these on my champions in my clan boss team, depending on how many good pieces I get rolled up. So that's Defiant. So all of these sets, like I'm saying, you want to keep all of these sets for an early game player. Righteous set, that's a decent speed set to be fair. 2-piece set, 10% speed and 40 resistance. So again, we don't really build high resistant builds in early game to mid game, but if you've got, when they drop one of these, if you get decent pieces, then get them on your champions. 10% speed for 2 pieces, so you had 6 pieces, 30% speed and 120% resist. That wouldn't be too bad on Wreck to Drat because she's got a resistance aura also. Then you've got the Slayer set, which is a variable set. So you get, what do you get there? You get 15% crit rate, 15% crit damage, and 10% speed. But I think you get other stuff as you get through the 9 pieces. But in the next video, we're going to go through all the 9 pieces and exactly what they do and what stats you get extra and where they should be used. So we won't go into too much detail on what adding an extra piece all the way up to 9s gives you. But again, it's a damage set. It was originally bought out for Rathalos Blade Master. It was called the Rathalos set, but they've changed the name of it now because obviously that promotion ended. But so the Slayer set, good for your damage dealers. So you want what? Crit rate, crit damage, and speed. Yeah. And then underneath, maybe a bit of accuracy as well. More rolls of crit rate, more rolls of crit damage, plenty of rolls of speed, and then whatever percentage your damage-based nuker is. So whether they're attack-based, HP-based, defense-based. And then you get a load of extra stats thrown in for adding more of the pieces together. But we'll go through that in the next video. Alright, so that is all the sets. So let's go down top to bottom and what, as an early game player, what really you should be sort of forging as soon as you can. This one, number 1, Perception, definite. I'm going to say Resilience as well. I think gets that on one of your tanky champions. It's easy to get hold of. You know, it'll help you for a certain amount of time. Fatal on your attack-based damage dealers. That's not a bad little filler set. You can get hold of it quite easy. The Magma Dragon's easy to beat. If you forge some decent pieces, get it on your attack-based damage dealers. Guardian, start getting some of that together if you can. Ready for your clan boss teams later on. Lethal if you can. It's unlikely that a lot of us will be farming lethal. And then when they drop any of these forge passes, make sure you're doing them. Really easy to complete. I'll show you. So yeah, make sure you're knocking off these daily challenges. Upgraded chestplate to level 8. 3 arena battles with a force champion. Defeat 50 void champions, collect the rewards. You're getting all these rewards, and then this is what you want right at the end. Give you 75 materials to forge with that. So I think you'll get like, what do you get? 5, I don't know what, 10, 15 pieces of the top materials for this instinct set. So you have got a chance to get 2 complete sets. If you're really lucky, you might get 3 complete sets, but that's unlikely. Got a good chance of getting 2. Definitely should get 1. So yeah, that's the Forge Pass sets. So yeah, that is everything in the Forge. So that is everything from me then, guys. Apologies, it was a bit of a long one, and fair play if you stayed right until the end. But that is it from me today. The next video in this artifact and gearing series will be on the 9-piece artifact sets, where we go into detail more about them. Anyway, I hope you're having a good week so far, and I will catch you in the next one.